I just wanted to show you the difference in size between the large giant Trangia that looks like a Schaefer dish, chafing dish, and the standard chafing dish size. I guess I can turn off the light to get a really good view of this, but okay, I also want to show you this thing. It is kind of light when I light it properly. This one does not, however. So I made some fuel in that one still. Thought I had fuel in there, but I guess I didn't have much in there. Oh, there we go. So when you light the large Trangia looking stove, and you have enough fuel down in the chamber to the fill line, it does light semi decent. And casting too much light on it. But not as good as this style here. So it takes a long time to get the chamber hot. Now, somebody had mentioned putting some felt around the outer edge, maybe, with some fluid on it, and that's not a bad idea, actually. Carving some wicking around here, whether it be carbon felt or fiberglass wicking. Fiberglass wicking, I think they're referring to as something like this here, or carbon felt, but after a couple lights it does catch fire pretty quick. Now the one over on the other side over here has what I guess is a high burn or a low burn setting. That's the low burn, and that's the high burn. And it's really just a matter of how much air is getting in there. And this, I don't know how long this would last far on fuel. I haven't tried it on a full thing. But this holds, I measured it up to that line, it was 4.5 ounces of fuel, and it will burn for just over an hour on that fuel. So, last time I burned this, I don't have a snuffer from my Trangia. I do have one around, but I couldn't find it. It's buried underneath all my other stoves, and I couldn't find my snuffer. I wanted to see if that fit on this, but I was unlucky and was unable to find it. So I thought it'd be just as easy to find some other lids I have laying around. I collect a lot of just metal lids. You know, just you never know what you're gonna be able to make into a stove. Sometimes it's interesting to make stoves out of weird things. So I hold on to all these extra lids and stuff. Anyways, I have a lid from one of these containers here, metal canister that comes apart. Now it has a plastic top in it, as you can see, and I didn't think that would be a good idea to put that directly on the fire, so I rebuilt one with a metal top, and it has a silicone piece to grab it by if it gets too hot. Now it is have metal down here. The silicone's up around the outer edge, and I'm only planning on using that to be a snuffer. I want to get it going better before I snuff it out. Right now, not even all the burners are catching. For example, this one's not caught yet, and that one's burning full speed. Knock it down a notch there. It tends to come back up pretty quick, though. I'm wondering why now this one little hole's not burning. If I've got some dirt or dust in there, I'm going to take a safety pin here and try and... Oh, maybe there was something in there. There it goes. And like I said, this one takes a while to get up to heat. So, I'm not sure why it takes so long to get up to heat, but somebody's right that a priming wick around there would do wonders for that. How it smells like burnt hair. Did my hand just go across the top of that? I must have burnt some of the hair off my arm. Great. So anyways, just to show you how it would be put out, Obviously it's not very hot right now, but anything to cover it up would put it out. Obviously it would put it out a lot quicker with smaller flames, and this does not fit in here 100%, as you can see, but it's enough to block the airflow, so it's a tight enough fit that it snaps in there and it will block the airflow. Anyways, I don't know if you guys noticed, but just for a little fun, I added some Liberty Bells back here. I think that Hiram is starting to rub off on me a little bit. Every time I go to the Goodwill now, after he's mentioned how he finds a lot of these kind of stoves at Goodwill, I've been going there a lot lately, and every time I go, I keep my eye open, and so far I'm up to 2 bells, Hiram. I think you have 4 and some quite large ones, but I'm up to 2, and I'm hoping my collection becomes someday as awesome as your collection of bells. However, I don't live in, I believe it's Pennsylvania, not sure, but I live in St. Louis, Missouri, so maybe instead of bells I should have arches back here. Nonetheless, I found these 2 bells. I thought it was kind of cool when I saw them as I was hunting for stoves, and immediately thought of Hiram. So I thought I'd add them into the collection here. And in the back here, somebody had said something on my Heineken Pots Will Be Missed video that I've had out for a couple years, and they said something to the effect of they were sad they were gone as well, so I thought I'd show them that the longer they're gone, the more I appreciate the few that I have left. I only have 5, 6, I think I have 7 left total, and one, I think this one, has been, I don't know if this will work, has been burnt out on the inside. A little bit beyond the point that I think I'm going to use it anymore. There's a lining on the inside of these, and I don't know if it's plastic or something other than that. But it once it burns off, it kind of eliminates the use of the can. And this is the old style Heineken, the original style that I recall. It has the, I think, 5 bumps, and then they switched to this other styles here that was 1 large bump on the top and 1 large bump on the bottom. But nonetheless, I just wanted to show a size comparison of the huge Trangia type stove here. That's kind of interesting. Get it all messed up here. And the standard chafing dish type stove, to show you how large this thing actually is. And it's going decent. It will get to be a better flame as it heats up here. I'll take another video. I'll open the video back up in a second once it gets going full bore. But it will take quite a while, so we'll just go ahead and turn the camera off until it's full bore. Okay, so I wanted to try something to see if I could get that to burn a little hotter, a little faster. And it appears that it actually worked. However, I don't know if it is the best solution for something like this. What I did was I coiled up some copper. Now I can't show you because it's lit, but let me try and put it out and see if I can show you then. So I coiled up some copper and just shoved it in the top of it there. And that's just copper wire. And now what's happening is the copper wire is actually causing it to get hot a lot faster, because the copper wire, as soon as it gets hot, transfers the heat directly down into the fuel, and it is really just some stripped copper wire that I had laying around. So that's one way to produce more heat, but I think I may have put too much copper wire in there, so now I have an abundance of heat. Maybe I need less coils to do that. The idea was that a copper coil stove puts the heat back down, and well, this is just copper coiled wire that I run down inside of the hole. and it's actually heated up the fuel so much that now it's staying lit. One of the unique things is that, like the Trangia, these put off yellow flames, and this over here is putting off just a pretty much blue flame. Every once in a while you'll get a little bit of yellow up top here, but otherwise, I always thought the yellow flame from the Trangia came from the fact that it was brass, but as you can see, this being a similar model to the Trangia, it is also putting off this yellow flame. And I don't know what the insulation type is in the outside of here, but there is something absorbing. I don't think it's just an open container. I think there's something inside this part that holds on to some of that alcohol, and maybe whatever it is, it also burns yellow, or possibly the fact that I've not burned off all the previous fuel that was used in this, and it may not have been all 100% methanol like I use heat 100% methanol in all of my stoves. So I'm going to get this over the fire, but what you're seeing there is what I use, and that generally burns very blue. In fact, the fuel that's in here is the same fuel that's in here, so you can see the difference in color there. This is actually coming back down a little bit now that I've taken the copper coils out. Let's see what happens when I put them back in, if it goes back up. It looks like it may do just that. And that only works as long as there's still some fluid down in the very bottom of there and it hasn't all been absorbed into the outer canister. So, if you find that you have a stove that's not burning hot enough, a few copper coils down in there will transfer the heat right down into the stove itself to give you that higher flame you need, especially if you're looking for a quick boil time. The copper wire doesn't weigh anything and folds up rather small and can be wound up and unwound. Anyways, that's all I have for this one. I think I'll close it up on that note. You can see that puts it out rather quickly. And with that silicone on there, I don't burn myself. Works the same on both of them, so that's kind of nice. Alright, see you guys later.